Lokichar Girls Primary School. This sign points to one of the problems facing the girl child in this region. There is another, a life-threatening one that may affect both girls and boys: conflict. In this class 2 is a young amputee, John Louyongorot. He's one of the few boys learning at this girls' school. He has an artificial right leg. At 15, he is older than his classmates. But for now, he has no choice.
Narim yang bar na kana atok mo jingin tiaga ngatain atok mo jingin tiaga ta atok rocang ka janda na dakar kana ati yang tu amar biaka arabaita amai apung atu nyuru apung pungaru bajek tabel tidak tanaja aku ajo aku.
After shooting him, they had to take away some, because they were looking for animals. So Paul was rescued and taken to the hospital.
Turkana County has been experiencing spurts of insecurity at times due to a proliferation of arms. Some effects are visible.
These people, when they come, they don't even spare children. Other than looking for animals, they don't spare these children. They don't say these are children. They think all these are enemies.
Sometimes, Louyongorot struggles to cope. Thankfully, there is a helping hand. Complications arising due to a gunshot wound inflicted on him by livestock rustlers led to the loss of his precious limb. He was tending about 50 goats at the time of attack. He was 12 years old.
Apungaru tu jini ya bano pun dipini. Ako kita daun dengan cak. Ako tak daun dengan apa? Tolong aja lu cak, lagu tay. Baikin jik baka uto ya tu mau jigine kayak turun ya tu dia cak. Itu bila ni lo dia kayak jadi. Bila punya matang barang turkan ada, ngatung ada. Harus tahu utara majeng barang luka loka ada taramada. Kau gitu kalau kan ngatung engkan kape engkai tan. Kemarin itu galai.
When the fighting is on, these children are displaced. They run away. When they run away from their homes, there is no way where they can seek refuge other than somebody who is willing to accommodate them.
For Louyongorot, the John Paul II Home for Children with Physical Disabilities was a welcome refuge.
This is the only center which caters for the physically disabled children in this county. There are some who are shot by the bandits, and there are some who are amputees because of the poisonous thorns.
Armed conflict, coupled with minimal rainfall in Turkana County, aggravates hunger. Most affected are women and children.
If you have food in school, these children will come to school. But when the food ratio is not there, you will have very few pupils attending class.
Louyongorot and over 70 other children are housed at this center. At least there is some food for them. Louyongorot walks less than 10 minutes from the neighboring school for lunch. He is now enrolled in a girls' school because the school was originally meant for disabled girls. There is no other school in this region to fill Louyongorot's needs. The Day of the African Child has been observed since 1991. It's held every year on June 16.
The Day of the African Child is celebrated all over Africa. This is a time when governments come together with their stake partners and development partners in the children's sector to take stock on the legislation on child rights.
For a considerable number of children, some of these rights stand out.
First right that I have is getting education, and this education you can acquire from your parents when they support you and give you enough facilities so that you can prepare your life future.
Children have a right in all levels to participate in decision making. That is at the family level, at the community level, in terms of what does the community want to do in a particular area. We need child participation in all these.
The Day of the African Child was marked in Lodwar, Turkana County. One of the principal secretaries in the Ministry of East African Community, Labor and Social Protection is Susan Mochache. She was the guest of honor. This day is an initiative of the African Union. It honors children who are advocating for their rights during the Soweto uprising in 1976. Besides, it heightens awareness of the need to improve the education for children. Louyongorot is keen on what the day has to offer.
1/3 of the world's population are under 18. In Kenya, it's almost more than 50% are under 18. So it's our responsibility as adults to show our children participate, that we stand still and listen to your voices.
There's nothing more powerful than children talking about themselves and about their own aspirations and their rights to education and to other things.
Every event that comes to pass in a child's life counts. A very good question we should ask ourselves is if we will be building or destroying their lives. Turkana. I understand that the child in Turkana has many a times been facing academic challenges since cattle rustling and has displaced them and others perishing. Community clashes have divided communities and built inheritable territory. I urge children to be the pioneer of change, live in harmony for a better tomorrow. Children have been suffering both psychologically and physically.
Turkana imejulikana kwa muda mrefu kwa sababu ya kuwa na conflicts hapa na pale, kwa sababu ya vita ya mifugo. Watoto ndio wanaumia sana tukiwa na shida hizi, lakini mikakati ya serikali imekuwa ikiweza kuchangia kuleta utulivu. Kwa hivyo kama taifa, siku ya leo tunaposherehekea pamoja na dunia nzima, kwa sababu hii ni sherehe ya dunia nzima, tunatambua kwamba kama nchi tumeweza kusonga mbele na kuweza kupunguza shida ambazo zinaleta vita na ambazo zinaleta kuumia kwa watoto.
If you look at the Standard 1 enrollment today, out of that 600,000, the kids in Standard 1 are about 37,000. As we go towards Standard 8, they are only 8,000.
This day is so crucial to the African child because it is a day that we remember how rights and welfare of children should be handled. And I want to make an appeal that the stakeholders assist the Department of Children and the Ministry to implement the various provisions of the Children's Act, the Constitution dealing with children.
I find the Day of the African Child being relevant in Turkana. Very relevant. It is an ideal for this place, and this will become an eye-opener for us.
Imagine a world without conflict and crisis, and picture a Kenyan nation, the African region, and the world at large that is conflict and crisis free. This would certainly be a safe nest for our children to be born and nurtured well to achieve sound child development.
It is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. So you can imagine, if we do not invest in our children at this critical time, we may not have our Vision 2030.
The life of John Louyongorot may have been shattered at a tender age by conflict. Nonetheless, he is moving on amidst the many voices crying for a solution.